Welcome home, neighbors, to episode 327 of the My DVC Points podcast. We are recording this show live and multi-streaming to Facebook and YouTube. So we'll be pulling in some live comments from the audience in this show. And if you've got questions in the show while we're taping it live, be sure to just ask them below. We'll try to come back in on YouTube and respond to all our comments as normal as well there. So today's show is a DVC market recap report for January 2024, and we're going to cover our normal things here. We're going to cover right of first refusal, which is if I go to sell my contract to you, the listener, the podcast viewer, somebody on YouTube that's checking us out. If you were to buy my contract, I would need Mr. Andy Berry, and I'm going to just bring him up to the show right now. Hey, Andy.
Hello there, Kang. How are you?
I am doing great tonight, Andy. So what we would do is I would write up my deal. I'd give it to Andy. Andy would put the listing up there. He would find us a buyer. He would find you, connect. We would negotiate this deal. He'd write it all up. And then we got to take that thing over to Disney, and they have to sign off on it before you can become the buyer. Disney has the right to come back in and say, hey, this is a really sweet deal. You know, you, the listener, you're not getting it. Chad, we're taking over your deal, terms as is, and I'm still selling my contract because I agreed to, but Disney's now the buyer. And by the way, they are the largest buyer of resale out there. Don't let anybody kid you, right? They buy more points than anybody else combined, right? It's just insane what they buy back in terms of that.
And they're also the largest owner of points. So from a standpoint of an economics deal, Chad, they're also very incentivized to not have high annual dues costs.
Yeah.
Because they got to pay dues on those points that they own.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyways, that's right of first refusal. And then we'll talk about average sales prices across the DVC resorts. What have all the sales last month? You know, what did the prices average out? How does that compare against other months? Are things going up, things going down? What's going on in the market? Then we'll talk about inventory analysis and listings. Spoiler alert, I think they're a little low for this time of year, but we'll dive deeper into that. And then we're going to come back in and we're going to do some like listings highlights and spotlights. And just to be honest, at least I'm going to try, because I had a couple of issues where we found some members in the My DVC Points community on Facebook that listed some contracts, and Andy sold them on us before I could even come in and create the show. So like less than 24 hours. I don't see anything
wrong with that, Chad.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to innovate here and come up with a cool things and serve our community and highlight their listings, and you're just making me obsolete. So anyways, enough ranting and kibbering about that, Andy. Let's come back into this and talk about right of first refusal for last month. Let's bring this up. And what did the mouse buy back, Andy?
Mouse bought back a couple of Animal Kingdoms, about 5 of them. So Hakuna Matata for those people. A couple Grand Floridians, one Old Key West, and then the one that knocked me out of my chair. In fact, Chad, I sent you a text as soon as I saw it. A low-priced Grand Californian.
Yeah, I think I hadn't even recorded last month's show when that one came in. And so we talked a little bit about it last month, but they bought back a Grand. You know what, Andy? And I go, let me just cheat here and look ahead to next, Grand Californian, I guess 230. So was the average prices last month. And if they bought it back at 221, it's not bad a deal. That, Disney didn't completely rob us blind on that contract, but that was an aggressively priced contract, but it's not too far from where the average was last month at 230. So
correct.
But it's interesting to see.
Basically, another month of no news from ROFR, and we're not seeing very much of it in the first week in February either.
Got it. And I think it's interesting they bought back some Polynesian right here, Andy, because they're actively selling millions of points from the new tower. So they must be pretty confident in their sales rate at that new tower to be buying back old inventory and reselling the poly points there.
It could be an anomaly. Maybe it was a month that they needed something in, but who knows? I mean, those Polynesian ones go back till last summer.
Yeah, I mean, they were buying them all last summer. They have full faith and confidence in the value of that resort. You know
Oh,
what, Andy? I do too. It's gorgeous, it's beautiful, and I've got all the faith in the world in it as well. But yeah, yeah. So Animal Kingdom got back. Old Key West at 89. I'm glad to see it at least came up from 73. No, wait a minute. Highest was
yeah,
89 last year. 73. Somebody was giving that away, Andy.
yeah. Seriously.
Like
Same with the Grand Floridian at 131. If you look at them, almost any one of those in those January 25 columns, except for the
yeah,
Animal Kingdom.
164 was the average for Grand Flow.
Yeah. I mean, but seriously, the one that the Animal Kingdom one just doesn't, that's an anomaly. That's a unicorn. They must have been short somewhere with inventory in 1 month or something. And that's what
Or they
wanted to buy it back.
they fat fingered that click on the buy button or something.
Yeah, maybe somebody made a mistake and it was too far gone before they realized they made a mistake.
Yeah, because at 110 and they bought back at 138.
Well, how about go the month before, go 90 to 138? That's a 30% increase.
Yeah, look at that. So that is just unreal. That had to be like a really small loaded contract or something to get up that high.
Or a use month of September like they don't have or something.
Yeah, somebody really wanted that contract, and I'm sad that they didn't get it. I'm really sad that they didn't
I'll bet the buyer just was completely, attacked too as well. They were surprised too.
Yeah, because I mean, if I'm looking at this and I'm going, average sales price was 110 for Animal Kingdom, but I lost my deal at 138. Like, I'm not happy about that. But normally what we see here is we see things that it makes sense, right? Disney's coming back in and they're buying the $73 Old Key West, when it's been averaging Old Key West 92. Okay.
Yeah, in the 70s, upper 70s.
Yeah. And, they're selling this thing for at least 165 on a sale. So they're flipping it and making some good money. And what we see is they typically need to make $60, $65 a point in terms of a spread when they flip a contract here. So, they've still got the room at 138 to do that, but it's just like, why would you do it when you could get it for 110? These are the things that just make us scratch our head and write a first refusal as well. So, but we can end this because it's like 1 Grand Cal, 1 Old Key West, 2 Grand Flows, right? And because it's the first month of the year, we know those are actual numbers as to what sold. The other thing I like looking at on Paul's report here is 18 days. They're getting pretty quick on this because this is when I bought my resale, it was like 27 to 30, 32 days was what they were pulling. So 18 days, they're passing these pretty quick. I'm pretty happy about that. Like that, that's less time people have to wait to get their resale deal.
Less time they have to wait. Then all the title companies are flipping documents pretty quickly and getting these contracts closed sometimes within 30 days, and then it takes another 30 days till the points are transferred to the new owners. So you entire window could take place in about 60 days.
Yeah. So Jared asked a question here. Is there ever a Riviera ROFR? And
has not been yet.
Yeah, I didn't think we saw that. I didn't think we'd saw that yet.
Nope.
We haven't really seen that yet because they still have plenty of Riviera points. They're not running short on it. So
I think so. I mean, Chad, just for the audience, I don't think we've seen ROFR on Riviera, on Aulani. I think those are the two. Obviously, the new cabins at Fort Wilderness Campgrounds. We haven't even seen any of those live yet. Any of those come in yet, and nothing at Disneyland Tower yet.
Yeah. So we'll have to see here. You know what I'm saying, Andy? We will have to see. And nothing there.
Thanks for the question, Jared.
Yeah. Thanks for the question, Jared. That's we love getting comments here. There's another one. Andy is a unicorn, and Andy is definitely a unicorn, man. He is one of the most rarest personalities in all of DVC. And I would say you're a rare character meet, but you're everywhere, Andy. So
Whatever. Should I put on my Mickey ears now too for the show?
Yeah, might as well. Might as well. It's
Right
we're
here.
going over Paul's article next on average sales prices. We've already kind of hit it really quick here, but he breaks this down into, how do you start to looking at it? And there's some interesting commentary right here on 2042 resorts, which these are the initial DVC resorts that have been sold. And January 31st, 2042, all of these contracts expire. And that means we've got like 17 years left of points-ish, 16, someplace in there. Not a whole heck of a lot in a 50-year contract. But he's making this analysis between this year and last year. And best I can see, Boardwalk was up, Beach Club was flat, and then Boulder Ridge, Vero, and Hilton are all down year over year. And Old Key West up $3, not a whole lot, but $3 for a contract that's got like 1/17 of its less value. I'll take it. You know what I'm saying? It's an interesting thing because as time goes on, I cannot see these things holding their values, beyond the 10-year mark. The market has to start correcting for that.
Right.
Because you've got to start correcting for closing costs on all of this as well. And now we don't know what Disney's going to do with these contracts and these resorts. They might allow you to re-up at a reduced easy rate because you're already an existing owner and it's a good sale. It's an easy sale for them. We don't know. So we don't know what that'll do to the market price of that either, if such offers are made.
Another thing they may consider doing, Chad, is offering a short-term lease, maybe a 15 or a 20 or a 25-year lease.
I could see them doing the 15-1 on Old Key West very easily, just to get all of that end date up to 2057.
Yep.
The others,
you'd take all the Walt Disney World 2042. So you got Beach Club, Boardwalk, Boulder Ridge, and Old Key West. Make them all 15-year leases to get them up to 2057.
Yeah. And at that point in time, Saratoga would be your ending one, your next ending one. And then
2054.
Yeah. And then Animal Kingdom would be right here with all the 2057s. Yeah. But it's an interesting concept. We don't really know what's coming on here.
Neither does Disney, probably.
I don't think they figured it all out either, to be honest with you. And if they did, they sure as heck wouldn't leak it.
Nope.
Because that would, we would comment on it. It would be a newsworthy story for anybody in the DVC realm to hear any kind of thoughts or leaks on that as well. And I'll be honest with you, Andy, even if I did hear something officially that was a leak, I don't know that I would cover it because it's just not our jam, right? We're here to talk about what's real and tangible for members to do today. So we don't really like getting into the speculation stories, but
and you got 16 to 17 years for it to change.
You certainly do. You certainly
do.
If
it was 2 weeks away, it's a little different.
Yeah. Until they start issuing contracts with ink and dotted lines and it's an official sales thing, we probably won't cover it too much. Yeah. But just looking at this from month over month, that's how my favorite way to look at this is. I know you like looking over it like Paul did year over year. And I'm seeing Animal Kingdom, normal deviation, Bay Lake Tower, normal deviation, Beach Club, slightly low, but somewhat normal. Boardwalk, slightly, $3 low, but it's still from year over year up. And Boulder Ridge down. So $6 there. And I think that's about right. I think that should be about under there. Copper Creek, 139. We've been holding here all year long. So that's a normal deviation if you ask me. Grand Flow's holding tight. So Old Key West, non-extended, the 2042, $92. So we're within $3. So that's what on $100 a point deal. That's just over 3%. I think he said 3.4.
Yep.
And Old Key West extended is down a little bit from last year, but it's still, it's still $12 up, which I figure it would be at least $15 more per point for those 15 years would be an excellent buy. If you were looking at this and you had the choice between a 2042 and a 2057, getting those 15 years for $1 a point, that's pretty awesome if you ask me, Andy.
Yeah. In fact, I'm jumping in a little bit here too, Chad, but we have one extended lease contract that's priced at Old West extended lease contract that's priced at $92 a point. So well below the average, or said a different way, it's on the average for the regular lease.
Yeah. So let's look at this. So that's 104. Let me find it here. Old West and
extended lease.
92. And it's not even stripped, Andy.
Points. Nope.
That's a rare unicorn. Okay.
That's a nice contract right there.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I'm just going to click this.
They can put an offer in that for me for tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah. And surprisingly, we have people that watch the show live and resale and end up calling you the next day and buying these. That's happened the last couple of times we've done this. It's just been an amazing thing, which is why we do this. We want to find the rare unicorn contracts and do that. But I think we're jumping ahead. Let's go ahead and finish this up here. Polynesian, I think, should be around 165 a point. On the 11th of February, I think DVC is raising it to 235 a point. So to me, the resale market needs to react to that and start to see the increase go back up. And because about $65 a point less than direct should be about normal, if you ask me, Andy. But at least for the non-restricted classic resorts. Riviera, yeah, those restrictions are hitting hard here. 116 a point, and beautiful resort, lots of life left there. It's just finding a buyer who's willing to deal with the restrictions and only stay at Riviera. And Saratoga, 97. It's not a bad deal for Saratoga. Looking at it from last year, that's down $9 a point. That's kind of significant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, below $100 a point. I mean, when I started with DVC back in January of 2010, we were selling direct Saratoga Springs at $99 a point.
Yeah, in 2010. And now you could have gotten 14 years of usage out of it and paid $2. That's the insane thing of DVC, right? It's an Alani at 95. I am still going to be scraping some money together, Andy, because I need me some Alani points. And I will be buying resale for that. There is no way I'm paying $235 a point. Buy
the Old Key West one, this extended lease, 210 points.
Yeah, Disneyland Hotel here, 149. Again,
you're going to see that coming down a little bit further too.
Again, and it's all due to the restrictions on there as well. So
I mean, but look at the movement, Chad. 150 last year, last March, and now it's at 149. But it was up in the 180s, which is a little bit unheard of.
Yeah, I think that's where it should be based on the property and the years left and everything else. But those restrictions are hitting the market value of that really hard. And then you look over at Grand Cal that has.
I'm not sure it's the restrictions or it's the transient tax.
Yeah, transient tax and the lack of guaranteed parking in the contract. Those are both issues we've talked about with this resort. But I got to be honest with you, Andy. Unless this next Grand Cal refurb is just phenomenal, I think I'd rather stay at Disneyland Hotel. It's less points, and by the time you do the point deal to the transient tax, it's about equal when you start valuing your points at $20 a point, which is what you can rent them for all day long, and on a person-to-person deal. So when I look at that, it's equal to me, right? It's just a little farther walk, but I like the rooms better at Disneyland Hotel. I'm not going to lie. Hilton Head and Vero are down, and given the dues are so high there, I think I can justify that. What's your thoughts on these two?
We were talking a little bit earlier. There's a very large Vero Beach contract that's priced at about $34 a point. And
Yeah, I've got it right here.
Oh, you do?
Yeah,
okay. We were trying to figure out that break even on that's going to run about $250 a night, right? $240 a night for using those points. And if you're a local in the Orlando area, or you get down there frequently, Georgia, Alabama, Florida, this is not a bad contract. Yes, the dues are very high, but to have 600 points to be able to use at any of the resorts, I think it's at a price point that I'd say it's pretty serious to consider that.
If you can use 600 points, these are great network points, because not only that, but 600 points to grab a beach cottage with, like at Vero, those things are amazing. And if you don't own there, they're really hard to get. But 600 points, you're going to be able to pick up 4 or 5 nights a year in a beach cottage easily if you wanted it. Because I think they're about 80 something points a night. So yeah, you might even pull off a whole week in a beach cottage for that, depending on the time of year. So not that I think I would want to stay at a beach cottage for a week, because a couple of days at the ocean, I'm chill, I'm relaxed, I'm vibe, I'm ready to move on. Give me my theme parks back. But that's just me. Okay. But yeah, you're right, Andy. I think this is one of our rare unicorns to deal with and to talk about. So we'll come in and
let me make one more comment on that 600 pointer of Vero Beach. You could stay for a week in a beach cottage, a week or longer, any time of the year except for Christmas week and Easter week.
Okay, on 600 points
for a week.
Yeah, so if you're a beach cottage person, this is a pretty smoking good deal. Yeah. Or you want Turtle Week, which is the other hard thing to book at Vero Beach. But
I mean, the other one, Chad, when you go to Vero, here's a hidden gem, a little nugget for everybody who doesn't know it. Instead of staying in a studio, stay in a hotel room, because you get daily room service in the hotel room, and the number of points are comparable.
Oh, the in rooms there at Vero.
Yeah, the in rooms.
Yeah, nice to know. Nice to know. And Andy, you had sent me this Old Key West one as well at $92 a point. And this is the extended one. I think we briefly mentioned this, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
So Old Key West.
We're talking about that. I'm going to put the offer on, I think. I don't think it's going to last through the night now.
It might not. We've had that effect on people watching the show and the replays of the show. And I think last time we did this, I got an IM from somebody saying, hey, I looked at what you guys talked about as your hidden gems, watched it over with my husband a couple times, replayed it back on YouTube, and we ended up putting an offer in before it disappeared. And which is part of the reason why we do this as well, is I want to come back in here and go, this is how we deal hunt. This is what we think are great deals in the resale market. And you guys can agree with us, disagree with us, do whatever you want to do. It's your life and your money. But from an educational standpoint, which is a goal of my show, to help you make informed decisions, I think this has been a pretty effective process as well. So yeah, if I was in the market for Old Key West, this extended at $92, that's a pretty smoking good deal. Pretty smoking good deal here. And then these next two highlighted listings. So I've started a new process where I asked the My DVC Points community group on Facebook. We have over 5,000 members in there. Hey, if you guys have an active listing, let me know so I can talk about it on the show. This is the second month in a row that somebody has reached out to me and said, here's my listing. And before I could record, Andy went and sold them in 24 hours on me. So this one comes from a friend of mine named Mark. And Mark was actually one of our very first, very active listeners recording on all of our live shows. And he would be coming in with these 400 day countdowns because he only had a 75 point contract and a 50 point contract. So 125 points to deal with. So he was banking and borrowing and coming every year, but still very active. And talked a little bit with Mark, and the reason why he's selling is just, life happens, and, issues come up, medical things happen, and you kind of need money. And so as much as he hated to sell the contracts, life happens. But the good news about owning DVC is when that happens, you got a valuable piece of real estate here that people want. And I know when Mark bought this, it was probably, we bought about the same time. I think I bought a few more points, so I would have been a little bit lower, but I think I paid around 160 a point for those. And he held on to them for, what is this? So 68. So 7-8 years, Mark or Andy.
Yep.
Yeah. So he was an initial buyer, got 7-8 years of use out of it. And this one, it cost him $20 a point plus his dues, which is some dirt cheap Disney vacations. And then this one, he only lost $9 a point on. And remember, these are somewhat stripped points because most of the 2025s are gone. All of the 2024 points are gone. And this one, all of the 2025 points are gone. So Mark got some really good deals on these. But it's just, it goes to show you guys, you buy DVC and there's an exit market here. And Andy can help you find a buyer. DVC Resale Market is some of the best out there at doing that. And that's part of the other reason why we do the show live as well and talking about these things. So, okay, Andy, any other rare unicorns for me to go find? Or
a couple of them up there, Chad. I think I sent them to you, but take a look at RR7 1738. RR7 1738.
I never find them that way. So let me come back in and come over to how I know how to find contracts.
And just go in the search bar right there. Whoop.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
RR7 1738.
Well, that makes sense.
So what's unique about this? We don't get triple point listings very frequently. But look at that sucker. You got a couple vacations built in your pocket that seller's already paid the dues for.
And it's December use year, so you're only 2 months into it. You're going to close on this thing in about 3 months. By the time this
contract closes, Chad, you're looking at middle of May till the points come to your account. You've got then, what's that, May to December, or is it May to November? You've got 6 months to use those points before they expire.
Yeah, well, you have 6 months to use 155 of the points before they expire, and the other 155 should be bankable if you really wanted to kick the can down the road.
And you're not paying dues on those 2 years of points.
Yeah, that's an amazing deal, right?
Okay, that's a good one. Take a look at this other one. So if you want to leave that one or come back and take a look at another one, go.
Yeah, I want to come back over to I closed the window I searched in the wrong window. I just want to compare that to average sales price here for Riviera. And so 116. So you are paying a little bit more for that at 139, but there's always the make an offer button. It's not a fixed
price, right? It's not.
Yeah, that's not a fixed price. There's a make an offer button there. And yeah, so if you're interested in a resale Riviera DVC December use year, I might be making an offer on this one and making a play for that. So, okay. Next contract, Andy.
RR8 1751.
And I thought I had these open, but I guess I didn't. So this is another Riviera. So 145 a point is the listing.
It's a guaranteed week.
Ooh, and this is guaranteed week for week 28, if I remember.
So which somewhere is maybe June or July.
So 48, week 48.
So 48 is going to be December.
Yeah, that's early December. That's right after Thanksgiving. That is a really, really awesome time to come to Walt Disney World because the weather is awesome. The parks are decorated for Christmas and the point charts are low. And that is a bear to get booked. So having a guaranteed week in that high demand time, I see why they're going above average for their listing price. I really do.
But again, that's negotiable too.
Yeah, again, yeah, to your point. And DVC automatically books week 48 Sunday check-in for you in a standard studio, which is the best views at Riviera. You know, the standard ones are the ones that are overlooking the Epcot fireworks. and highest demand ones there. So yeah, this buyer had a sweet contract, or this seller did when they owned it.
Yeah, so
So, okay. Another really interesting gem here. What else you got for me, Andy? Anything else?
So I just want to bring everybody's attention our latest promotion, the 40. We've got 47 red hot deals out there now. Red hot deal, just for the audience's perspective, has to be priced at a minimum of 10% below market value. And then there's a gamut of those, 47 in total. There's a couple of beach clubs. There's some, let me see, 10 Vero beaches, 15 Old Key Wests, 10 Animal Kingdoms. There's a nice inventory of different kinds of listings to look at there.
Yeah, absolutely. And red hot deals, there is no negotiating on these. This is like the eBay buy it now, where you guys have already negotiated a below market price for the contract, and it's basically a click the button and buy it now, because this is
one thing that's changed since the last month, Chad, just so the audience knows, on a full price offer listing or a red hot deal listing, you are not able to put in an offer less than full price. We've been able to fix that gamut in the system on our internet.
okay.
So it won't be able to submit it. So the red hot deals, there's 47 of them. If you want to do another real quick search, Chad, the ones I like are double point listings. Go back into the status bar.
Oh, okay. Yep. Up here in status, and then come over, take off
Double
red
point
hot
listings.
deals, and then go double points or nearly double points, right?
Should be about 40 of them, 45, something like that.
Yeah, 42 between both filters. So
okay, so those are, again, you've got the sellers already paid for vacation for you because the dues are coming to you free for last year.
yeah, because here's one that's already banked up for Animal Kingdom.
Yeah,
in a
most of
June
them are
this
banked
year.
up.
Yeah,
But can easily be banked if they're not.
this 100-point Animal Kingdom.
There's a couple of Lonnie ones there. Those are nice little puppies.
Yeah. Boy, doing this show is dangerous for me, Andy.
That's what I do. I only do this for you, Chad.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, yeah, really nice beach club here. 600 points banked up. And those will rent exceptionally well.
Yep.
And you have time to 11, well, maybe not 11 month, maybe a 7 month-ish, 8 month by the time you close on that one. And yeah. Okay.
One more filter I want you to do if you can.
Okay.
Do small contracts. Earlier tonight, there were 75 of them.
Small contract, there's still 75.
Okay, so the reason why I think those are always good things to look at, if you're considering two families this addresses, that first family who wants to get into DVC and may not want to spend a whole lot of money, you can grab something for relatively inexpensive. It's going to be a little bit higher priced, but you're going to have a small bundle of points that you can use maybe 3 or 4 nights a year.
This is to get your total DVC strategy. And Vicky from our newscast team actually did this. She bought a small 25-point Saratoga, got her toes wet, and then came back in and added on, a significant amount of points. When she realized, hey, this is how it works. She was comfortable with it. So it's like, hey, my toes are in the water, small amount overall. And yeah, that's a great strategy.
I mean, it's nice for a family that has been renting points for the last couple of years, that now you say, okay, if you buy a small contract, you can now have your rental basically paid for, your cost of ownership. The other one I believe the small contracts caters to immensely are those families who are looking for a second, a third, or fourth home resort. Because if you think about it, take a 30-point contract, bank and borrow, now you've got 90 points. Every 3 years, you can make that reservation at the 11-month window and essentially guarantee that you're going to stay at that resort and not have to play the game at the 7-month window.
Yeah, that is. The other thing is, like, if you love your home resort and you just want to stay another night or two, small contracts make a great add-on there as well. And you can
Or if you
say,
have
hey,
another kid, you want to give a kid a little one.
yeah. Those are all some great deals. So,
So
okay, Andy.
those are kind of my thoughts. We did mention a little bit ago, but the extended 11, we have 11 Old Key West extended contracts ranging from small at 50 points all the way up to 320 points, priced from 92 up to 126 bucks a point.
Yeah, to do that, we can just hit extended to 2057. Yep. There's all 11 of them. Yeah. Okay, well, I'm going to minimize the screen share and then focus in on some of our comments here as well. And so Anna says, thank you for all your help. She just got back from a 2-week stay at an Alani 2-bedroom, 1150, wonderful balcony. I think we helped her with our room finder at Alani and showed her, hey, this is where we painstakingly mapped out every room there and where your room could be for every booking category and how to do a room request as well. Jared says, when are we predicting a Bay Lake spike? I think Bay Lake is what it is now. I think it's still a great deal and a great value. And I don't know why it hasn't caught on and picked up, but it is what it is. And the refurbing the rooms and the room refurbishments look nice. I haven't seen any that have just blown me away with it, but they still look nice. And that typically does do a little bit of a drive on the market. And maybe it's more people are thinking like me. They're just nice and they're not awesome like Saratoga's was. So could be. And yeah, prices are mouthwatering. Absolutely. So, and then Nick here is commenting things are priced to move. And Dan asks, where do you find that yearly data? And so let me come back in. I'll bring the screen share back up.
Must be the average prices.
Yeah. So you come over to blog and you got to search for this one on the blog tab.
You just go right in the search box. Chad, just go in the search box and type average resale.
Yeah, I guess you could average prices and that would bring them up for you. But when you scroll down on this, Dan, you start to see January from 2024. But to Andy's point, if you really wanted to map this out, you could pull up January 23, January, right, all the way back, and you could see a whole history for the resorts.
Yeah, there's occasionally I'll have somebody who will ask a question about where were prices 5 years ago, and I can quickly find it for them.
Yeah. Fair question. And let's see here. And Anna's saying, while at Alani, she ended up buying a Disneyland 150-point contract for 170 that had Magic Key, D23, on-site discount, buyback 24 points, and a base discount of all that combined. Yeah, they were doing some, Direct was doing, I think it's over now. I think it was in December, that Magic Key discount. And if they were doing an on-site, all of this other stuff, that was a smoking deal. I should sit down and talk with them about prices next time I'm there. But Jared saying, oh man, I love my Riviera. I don't know that I could pick one contract now, Jared, and just look at that. That would be a little too dangerous for me. So.
Well, you'd probably buy an Alani contract.
Yeah, I would definitely buy an Alani contract. That's going to be my next purchase. And so if there was an Alani subsidized dues on there, I'd have some really hard decisions to make right now, Jared. So yeah. And Nick is saying, and small contracts are always nice for an exit strategy. Yep, because they sell fast. I think that's part of the reason why that our 50 and our 75 points sold so fast. But the last one that we were talking about was a Bay Lake, and I think it was 200 points, and he still sold it in and out, overnight on me.
And I noticed earlier today, below that point, there's a nice little 25-point Animal Kingdom contract that came up that's priced at market value. It's probably no premium built into that one.
Wow, that's probably a good deal then as well. Yeah. Which resort's my favorite 2-bedroom? So that's going to be Alani Beach Club, Grand Cal, Disneyland Hotel. We're loving the 2-bedroom there. After I stayed in that, then definitely loving the 2-bedroom there. And just a thank you comment for Dan for explaining that one. And Jared says he's looking to add on to our poly contract, 26 grand. Any reasons to buy direct? If you've already got your blue card, which I know you do, the only reason to buy direct at this point in time, Jared, is if you want to be able to stay anywhere with the points. But you've got enough points to go there. And if it's just an add-on, you can always use these points at the classic resorts. So for me, poly right now is if you need the direct add-on or the blue card for the incentives, I wouldn't fight you for it. But if you've already got it, seriously think twice about it. Because, yeah, that's $235 a point. February 11th is what that's going to. And we're seeing 160. So that's a huge, 75-point spread that you're just giving it away. You know what I'm saying? It's just like money gone. And if you've already got the blue card, I don't think you need it. I'm just being honest. Just being honest on that one as well. So, okay, if you guys have any more questions, let us know. Otherwise, Andy, let's start to move into our wrap up here as well. So if listeners want to follow up with you, I've already got this built from our stuff. Andy at dvcresalemarket.com and 949-412-0850. That is his cell phone. And as I've heard from multiple listeners this last week, the guy is crazy and works insane hours and always responds to you quickly. Which is a good thing, Andy. It's a really good thing.
You know, we didn't do, Chad, is what day's coming home? When's the next time?
Yeah, we typically don't do that on this show. That's really the community hall live shows on that. But we could start to go into a quick round for the live listeners here. Do you have any trips planned, Andy?
I've got one in less than 30 days.
Oh, that's right. You're coming here back to the world, right?
Going back to the world. We ended up buying annual passes now, too.
Awesome sauce on that.
So I think I might have to talk to the CEO and see if we need to get some more points.
Yeah, add-on night is...
You know who I call if I need points?
Yeah. Well, you'd go to your voicemail if you call that. So, but I know the guy, and he would get back with you really quick, according to his reputation.
Seems to be pretty good.
Yeah, he would definitely do that. Definitely do that as well. So I've got trips coming up. I just got back from Disneyland Moonlight Magic last week. I need to get together a little live show on that coming up with a recap of Moonlight Magic for this year and kicking off over at Disneyland, because a bunch of things have changed over there. And I've got a trip coming up. Oh, May. It's the Tuesday after Mother's Day. And my best friend.
Cruise?
No.
April cruise?
Yeah, I'm going on an April cruise. So April 11th to the 7th. It's a My DVC Points meet group. We've got about 4 or 5 families that are meeting us up for that one. And Gina will be there. Cynthia will be there. Robert will be there. Lincoln and I will be there, which if you listen to any of our shows, he's the little guy you hear at the end of the show saying, "Cheer up, Dad." So you'll get to meet him on the cruise. And Lincoln will be here with me next week as well. So I got to go up to Detroit, get him, spend time in the parks down here on his winter break. And I am so looking forward to that one. And we're just going to be crashing here because there's no point to use points when Walt Disney World's in the backyard. But yeah, and then May, I got my 30-year trip coming up. My best friend of 30 years. We're celebrating by going to Disneyland, Shanghai, Hong Kong, Paris, and Universal Beijing. Wow. So it'll be an epic 2-week trip. And
yeah, that'll be a good trip.
Yeah, I've got a week booked at Disneyland Hotel this summer for my birthday week. And so there'll be more coming about on that one. I don't know if I'll keep that one because the Japan trip kind of got extended as well. And so let's see here. And So Nick is saying 7 days until VDH. Woot, woot, woot. And High Rye DVC, Alani in 2 weeks. And Selah is turning 10. So that is completely awesome. It's a great place to celebrate a 10th birthday.
Yeah.
And
Just say all right.
Yep. So Jared's saying 33 days to Art of Animation, which is, a little something unique for DVC members, but I know Jared's a travel agent, so he's probably coming in on a travel agent discount on that one as well. So yeah, it's been a while since we've done the when are you coming home next? And yeah. So anyways, just to wrap up today's show, thank you for tuning in, buddy. Hopefully you learned something in today's show that'll help you go out there and plan something magical. Huge shout out thanks to our sponsors, World of DVC, DVC Resale Market, Financial. And again, if you need to buy or sell a contract or just have any DVC questions in general, DVCResaleMarket.com, 949-412-0850. You can call, you can email, you can text. He will do a phenomenal job serving you because he has helped thousands and thousands and thousands of our listeners over the last, what have we been doing this for, Andy? Like 5 or 6 years at least?
I'm up on my 6th anniversary.
Yeah. And I know when you came on, I jumped on you and said, hey, do a show with us. And it's been an amazing friendship, an amazing just working with you and seeing you serve all the listeners with excellent, because I'm not a realtor. I'm just a nerdy analyst guy who likes to come in here and create content on the internet that a lot of people find educational and informative. But when you're actually ready to do the deal, you got to go to Andy and he will take care of you. So thanks, everybody. You guys have a great night. We will be back next month. Good night.
Thanks for having me.
Yep.